pre-final. His result there was, he's been thereabouts most of the weekend, but that was his best run. So Michael Engstrom Christensen, a 21-year-old, sponsored by the Kartschmied team, who'd like to say a big, big thank you to his dad for all of his support over the last 11 years as a kart racer. The Danish double champion, driver who has been 6th in the European Championships as well in kart racing. He's 6th on the grid. Another quick Dane coming through. On row 4, Oriol Dalmo Caballero, the Spanish driver, and Tadetsuka Makino. Tadetsuka, quick all weekend, but too many dramas for him in the heats yesterday, which is why he only qualified 17th on the grid for the pre-final. But he came good in the pre-final, fought his way through to 8th place, which is where he's going to start. In the 5th row of the grid, we've got Maxi Fleischmann, the German driver, number 660, and Morten Nom, the Finnish driver, in kart 679. Row 6, Sanad Al-Wahawi and Martin Pearce. Martin Pearce is the highest placed Masters driver. Tom Pitlick starting the race 13th with Kevin Ludi 14th. So that's the 7th row of the grid. Tom from Britain, Kevin from Switzerland. Row 8, Reve Luza and Enrique Baptista. So Reve on the inside of that row from Latvia and Enrique on the outside of row number 8 coming from Portugal. On row number 9, we've got Enrique Gruber and Florent Lambert. On row 10, Ken Alleman and Jesus Perez Santander. Row 11, Tamsin Germain and Placido Adrizani. On row 12, Ilja Alskins and Thomas Peart. Row 13 would have been Juan Turan, but he's withdrawn from the meeting. So there's 24 karts, there's 12 rows of the grid. And the last number I'm going to give you is 15, because it's a 15-lap race. So they're being bunched up, ready for the start of the race. The DD2s have been pretty good at getting underway first time, being whirled along by the start line official Thomas Leiner, and it's a clean start once again from DD2. So through into the lead of the race goes Anthony Abbas here at the start of proceedings. Sean Slavin trying to go with him, but Andreas Batman making a good start as well. Looks like he's got in between and gone through to second place. Rasmus Markkanen, I think, has made a good place as well. I think he's third as they go through turn 2, over in the distance into the right-hander at turn 3. One off and struggling to get going again over in the distance through turn 2, but everybody else has survived. And the race leader, Anthony Abbas, converting pole position into the lead of the race. Sean Slavin did hold on to second position, so he's gone through, and it's been declared a full start, I think, now. So it's been declared a full start. The yellow flags are coming out, and they're being told to slow up again. So slight confusion. One or two drivers going off the road will get a second chance of this to come back up the order and get back into their rightful grid positions. I think Tom Pitlick was one of the drivers that went off the first couple of corners, so he's racing to catch back up to the pack now and to try and get back into his grid slot. So this has been good news for Tom Pitlick, a second chance for him, having got caught up in an incident before they decided to abort the start. So back around they come. Clock set back to 0, lap set back to 0, 15-lap race still ahead. Anthony Abbas leading them through. If you can get another start like the original one, that would be ideal. So, too, it was a good start for Sean Slavin. Andreas Batman didn't make such a good start from the inside of row 2, but maybe you'll learn from that now as they come around for a second try at this. Coming out of the final turn. Here they come towards you on screen. This is the view from the gantry over the start-finish line. Online on RGMMC TV. The race gets underway. Anthony Abbas with a tremendous start. Sean Slavin tries to go around the outside. He's going to tuck into third place. He's going to lose a position to Andreas Batman. So Batman goes second. Slavin drops down to third place. Bit of contact between the two of them as they come out of turn 2. And Slavin, I think, is that him going to lose either he or Batman? It's hard to tell over in the distance. Has lost a place down to 4th. I think Andreas is still second. Jan Vuncek has split them. Jan Vuncek, I think, is the one that's come up to third place. Let's have a look as they come through into turn 4. Yes, it is. Batman second, Vuncek third, and Sean Slavin, yes, dropped to 4th place. So Slavin in then 4th position. Rasmus Markkanen has held station in 5th place. And then Christensen, or is it Dalmo Caballero? It might be Dalmo Caballero, the next one through in 6th position. Out towards turn 7 they go. Over in the distance, perfect day here. One or two coming to grief at turn 6. One of them going very slowly at the back of the pack, but the majority of the field still running. You can see the scrolling positions at the foot of your screen. 15 laps to go. The graphic at the top of your screen if you're watching online. Hope you're enjoying the sunny weather if you're here watching at the circuit. Our final race of the day promises to be a cracker. So great start for Jan Vuncek, wasn't it, to get through to 3rd place, and he's now trying to get himself into 2nd at turn 2. Andreas Batman hanging on to the place for the time being. Abbas, Batman, Vuncek, the top 3. Slavin is 4th, Markkanen 5th, And up into 6th place, Tadetsuka Makino. So a bad Saturday, a good Friday, a bad Saturday. It's becoming a good Sunday now as he comes back into the top 6 for the first time. Damo Caballero is 7th, Fleischmann is 8th, Christensen down to 9th, Martin Pearce is in 10th place. The top 2 drivers in this race, as long as they haven't already qualified for the grand finals over in the United States, will get a ticket to that. That's what you heard Conor Jupp talking about. He and Max Aitken just wanted to finish 1st and 2nd and get through to the Worlds next month over in America. But there's also a place up for grabs in this race to the highest placed Masters driver, which is drivers aged 32 and above. Now, Martin Pearce has been the man to beat in Masters. However, he's already got a ticket to the Worlds, so we have to look further back to the likes of Florent Lambert, Tamsin Germain and Jesus Santander to see which of them might qualify through to New Orleans next month. So Abbas with 2 laps complete, but he's coming under pressure now from Andreas Batman. Andreas has spent the whole of the weekend ahead. Now he's behind and attacking, and now he's back ahead. He's got the lead of the race through turn 3. So the Swede up to 1st place. Abbas, the French driver, down to 2nd. The British driver, Sean Slavin, right behind him in 3rd position. And in 4th place, it's Jan Vuncek. Markkanen is 5th. Damo Caballero's got ahead of Makino and back up into the top 6th. Top 5 together, and change there as Abbas goes back into the lead of the race. Batman loses out, and then Slavin tries to get past the pair of them. It's going to be 3 abreast as they come out through turn 7. Abbas is hung out to dry on the outside line. He might just, if he's lucky, hang on to 3rd place here, but it's going to be tough to do that. I think he will, just about. But Abbas dropping out of the top 2 in that race. Vuncek having a go at him. They're a very similar colour scheme for Vuncek and Abbas, so I'm not sure which of them is going to come past me first. I have a feeling it's going to be Abbas. No, it's Vuncek. It's Vuncek who got through. So Abbas went from 1st to 4th there. Slavin and Batman getting into 1st and 2nd positions. Batman runs wide into turn 2 though and loses 1, 2, 3, 4 places. Batman very slow there. Now whether there's an issue with the kart or whether he got a tap somewhere, but certainly he was all out at sea there through turn 2. So it's all gone wrong for Andreas Batman on that part of the lap. Sean Slavin leading the race then. Not sure he's led so far this weekend. He's been chasing a lot. He's been quick a lot. He's been as quick as Andreas Batman in the heats, more or less, but now he's got his chance at the head of the field. Anthony Abbas through to 2nd position. Markkanen's gone through to 3rd, hasn't he? And so you've got the likes of Vuncek and Damo Caballero slipping back a little bit. Martin Pearce doing a tremendous job in 8th place, the former Grand Finals world champion. Martin, I wouldn't say he's coming out of retirement, but he hasn't raced very much recently, having set up a family and a new home in Ireland. And Martin, you'll see the Irish flag appears next to him because he's got an Irish race licence, but he's a British driver. He comes through across the line as the leading Masters driver in 8th place now, ahead of Vuncek. So Vuncek slipping down the order. Further back, we've got Thomas Peart in 17th as the 2nd best of the Masters drivers. Jesus Perez Santander in 18th place. He's right behind him though, so those two are battling for this place in the Worlds. Tamsin Germain is a few places behind in 20th position, and Florent Lambert must have dropped to the back of the field early on, but he's started to come back now and he's in 22nd place, trying to catch them all up. But it's not been a fluid weekend really for Florent, the Tatum Racing driver. Has 1 or 2 dramas this weekend. Through they go. Anthony Abbas and Rasmus Markkanen having a good squabble here for 2nd place, but they are losing touch a little bit with the race leader, who is still Sean Slavin, making his way through turn 8 into turn 9. But we've seen this several times this weekend. A driver, he's able to get 4 or 5 kart lengths clear, pull as much as a second advantage, but they still are able to pick up your toe. And they're still able to close down upon you. Makino's come to the head of the next group in 4th place. Batman is starting to fight back in 5th position. Damo Caballero, the Spanish driver, on his tail in 6th. Christensen 7th. Pearce 8th. Vuncek 9th. And Nom is the next one through in 10th place. Santander has picked up another place in 17th. Tom Pitlick is fighting his way through the order now. He's up to 18th place, with Tamsin Germain also gaining a position in 19th. So Tamsin Germain is now 3rd in the Masters class, trying desperately to catch up with Jesus Perez Santander, who's 2 places ahead of her. So that's the battle to watch for a ticket to the Worlds in the Masters class. 779 Santander and 718 Germain. They've got a real battle there, and Tamsin's going to throw everything at this. The weekend started well. It just deteriorated a bit towards the end of yesterday. And the pre-final didn't go that well for her either, I'm afraid. Well, at the start of the lap, the race leader had 0.6 of a second advantage. I think that is beginning to whittle down. Sean Slavin has the lead still, but I think it's by a reduced margin as we come towards the end of lap 6. just over 1/3 distance in this 15-lap race. And no, actually, I was wrong. Slavin is slightly quicker than Abbas on that lap. Slightly, few hundreds. So the gap's exactly now 0.7 of a second. Into turn 3 they go. Under braking with a target to aim for. Anthony Abbas seems to close the gap a little. Markkanen going with him in 3rd. In 4th place, Makino is quicker than the 3 drivers ahead of him. So Takasuda Makino is flying in 4th place. Andres Batman is 5th. Oriol Damiel Caballero is still in the top 6 as well. No changes up in the top 6 or 7 on that lap. The only change in the top 10 is from Morten Nom, who's got himself back up into 9th place. How about that battle between the Masters drivers? Jesus Perez Santander is 17th. Tamsin Germain is 19th. The gap between them is less than half a second, though. So Tamsin Germain in striking distance now. Battle at the tail end of the field, just making its way through turns 7, 8 and 9 now. Just keep an eye on 2nd and 3rd as they go into turn 2. Makkanen closes up, can't find a way through. Abbas hangs on to the position. Tom Pitlick is about to pick up a place. Down the inside he goes on the way into turn 1. That was a good move to get ahead of Santander. That now means that Tamsin Germain is right onto the tail of Santander in this battle to see who gets the ticket to America for the Masters. So the Spanish driver coming under pressure from the Brit now as they go into the right-hander, and she's made a move. She's gone up the inside, and I think Tamsin Germain has gone through. She's picked up the place at turn 3, and she gets a little nudge on the way out of the corner, but it doesn't faze her. And yes, she is now ahead of the Spaniard. So Tamsin Germain up to 2nd in class. The class leader, though, is the one that has already got his place booked to America. So Tamsin's in a great position now if she can continue her form and pull away. How about Florent Lambert? Is he catching them up? Well, Thomas Pearce and Adrizzani are both ahead of him. So Florent Lambert is a few seconds away from them all now. He's on a similar pace. He's a bit quicker than them, actually, but he lost too much time at the start of the race. No change in the top 3. Makino is still reeling them in. He's still a little bit quicker in 4th place. So Tadasuke Makino, the one to watch here in 4th position in kart 683. And look at the battle for 2nd place now. Markkanen's going to have a look at the inside at turn 3. Squeezes through. Nice tidy move. Without any delay, he gets through. So Markkanen goes 2nd. Sean Slavin now will have something like a 1 second advantage. But what can Markkanen do to catch him up? Abbas gave him room there. It was good fair driving from the pair of them. In 2nd and 3rd. In 4th place, Makino is still trying to catch, and he's still just chipping away at the advantage. Makino is going to be with them soon. Tadasuke Makino starting this race. Where was he on the grid? In 8th position. So Tadasuke flying from 8th to 4th, and soon he's going to be battling for a podium place here. Qualified 2nd on Friday. Started all the heats on the front row, but he went backwards in all of them. Got a couple of penalties along the way and disqualified from one race for being underweight. So had a torrid day yesterday, but here he is still in the mix here in 4th place. Absolutely together now then, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. We've had 9 laps down. We've got 6 to go, and we've got a real fight on our hands for 2nd place. Are they going to work together to catch the race leader? I think probably no is the answer. They're too busy fighting each other. Tadasuke Makino trying to go around the outside at turn 3 to get 3rd place. It doesn't work. Anthony Abbas, I think, has held on to the place. So Sean Slavin comes through, number 627 with the pinky red helmet, the white helmet of Erasmus Markkanen there in 2nd, Abbas 3rd, Makino 4th, and in 5th place, Andreas Batman, who dominated proceedings yesterday. He is working hard to catch the back up, and Andreas Batman is not out of contention yet for a podium, certainly. And he wouldn't rule himself out of a race victory either. We've seen stranger things this weekend, so we'll see what he can do. Still got time in this race. They'll have another 5 laps at the end of this one in which Andres Batman can try and pick his way through into a podium position. Sean Slavin, though, leading the way, just like Connor Jupp did in the previous race. He's got himself just that 6/7 of a second advantage. Markkanen 2nd, Makino's 3rd now, ahead of Abbas. So Makino did get through. Abbas 4th, Batman 5th, Christensen 6th, Damo Caballero 7th, Ludi is 8th, Pearce is 9th, leading the Masters. 10th is Al Rohawi. Funchek up to 11th, Fleischmann up to 12th place. Tamsin Germain continues to run 2nd in the Masters class. She is in 17th place, just behind Tom Pitlick in 16th, and she's about half a second clear now of Perez Santander. So she's not romped away, but she's got a bit more breathing space now. And in fact, she is, I think, edging away all the time in this race. up at the sharp end. Then you get the sense that this is starting to fire up, ready for a change in pace soon as they get towards this frantic final few laps of the race. There's 4 to go. Sean Slavin has got Rasmus Markkanen almost on his tail now. He's closing the gap, that's for sure. Through they go. The gap's down to 0.3 of a second. Fastest personal lap of the race for Markkanen. Makino has the fastest overall lap of the race, set a couple of laps ago. And second and third are now catching the race leader. So big pressure coming up to Sean Slavin. He's got to try and fend them off, just like Connor Jupp did in the previous race, if he wants to win this one. So Sean working hard here. The Paul Carr Racing driver being whirled on by his friends, his family, the team, as he makes his way out through turn 5 and accelerating now toward turn 6 on the brakes. Through the left-hander he goes. Doing a good job here, looking smooth, not looking phased, not looking over his shoulder too much. Abbas is now coming under pressure from Batman for 4th position. Andreas Batman will want to get through as quickly as possible. And then he's got a bridge to gap to bridge if he wants to get up to the tail of that top 3. So he cannot afford to be delayed behind Anthony Abbas for any more than a couple of corners. If he wants to have designs on getting into the top 3, he needs to make a move now. Through they will come. 3 laps to go then over the start-finish line. Sean Slavin still leads the race. Markkanen second. Makino third. The 0.6 of a second covering all 3 of them. Abbas still 4th. Batman can't do anything about him. Batman's not quite got the pace here. In 5th position. In 6th place, it's Michael Christensen doing a very solid job, the Danish driver, but he's too far back from these 5 now to pick up any more places unless there's a drama ahead. Gap coming down all the time then from 1st to 2nd. Markkanen almost with Sean Slavin now as he accelerates out of turn 5. It's just hundredths of a second we're talking about, but the gap is almost whittled down to nothing now. And it's going to be big ask for Sean Slavin to defend for this last couple of laps, but he might well be up to the task. He's going to have to work hard, though. This is not going to be an easy race win, but when do you ever get an easy race win in karting? Not very often, but looking at the inside was Rasmus Markkanen then on the way into turn 8. That would have been a cheeky move. Don't see that very often into the left-hander. He showed his nose. He made his presence aware and felt, and 2 laps to go. Sean Slavin now knows he's got a fight on his hands here, and Makino is right with them. 4th and 5th are absolutely nose to tail as well as they go through turn 1 into turn 2. Andreas Batman closer this time, but again he can't find a way through under braking. Slavin, Markkanen and Makino, and it's side by side and into the lead of the race. At turn 3 goes the Finn, so Markkanen through ahead of Slavin, and now he's trying to fight back up the inside into turn 4. The gap closes, the door closes, he has to back off. And he's there in 2nd place now. So Sean Slavin, well, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe he's now in a better position to attack, to pick up a toe. Maybe it's no bad thing. Maybe Markkanen's gone too early. We'll have to wait and see. Trouble for Slavin is that he's also got to try and defend that 2nd place now from the flying Japanese, Makino, who's right with him. They're jostling for position. Anthony Abbas is still hanging on to 4th place. Still in 5th position is Andreas Batman. Martin Pearce still leads the Masters. Tamsin Germain is now 1.3 seconds clear of Santander in that fight for 2nd and 3rd in the Masters. So looking good for her. Tom Pitlick's made up another place into 14th. So is Baptista up to 13th. But the race leaders go on to the final lap of the race now. All tied together here. Markkanen, Slavin. Slavin going for the lead at the inside into turn 2. Side by side. Neither of them going to give way. One of them has to in the end. And it's the man on the outside. So Sean Slavin with the inside line gets through. Back into the lead of the race. And Makino is now having a go for 2nd at the next corner. And Makino, the Japanese driver, goes through. So Markkanen from 1st down to 3rd in the first few corners of the lap. Through turn 4, Sean Slavin now takes his turn at the head of the field. And they're going to queue up behind him. It's a bit easier to defend through the 2nd half of the lap than it is the 1st half of the lap, though. So he's looking in a strong position here, but he's not counting his chickens. Sean Slavin looking for the final race victory of the day here in DD2. But Makino has come after him. He's having a look up the inside into turn 7. He has to back off. Slavin still leads. Makino 2nd. Rasmus Markkanen coming after them in 3rd place. They're going to go into the final turn now under braking. A little luck at the inside for the Japanese driver, but Slavin didn't give him an opportunity. And he comes out of the last corner. The checkered flag is ready, and Sean Slavin wins the race here. He takes the checkered flag. Makino, again, is delighted with 2nd because that should give him a place into the grand final. So he takes 2nd place and clenches his fist. It was a very good drive from the Japanese driver. Markkanen started the race as the race leader. Ends up being in 3rd position, Rasmus Markkanen. Anthony Abbas held off Andreas Batman for 4th position. Michael Christensen was 6th. Kevin Ludi, who struggled a bit this weekend with his kart, had a good run there through to 7th place. Martin Pearce is the winner of the Masters in 8th. In 9th, it's Vanchek. In 10th, it's Al Rahawi. And then looking further down the order, Tamsin Germain, 16th place. That could well be, subject to confirmation, enough as 2nd in the Masters to see her through into the grand finals in America in a few weeks' time, because the only driver that's beat her in the Masters has already got a ticket, and she finished 16th, 2 places ahead of Santander, who was the 3rd driver home in the class. There's confirmation of the results then. In DD2, Sean Slavin wins the race for Paul Kart Racing. Tadasuke Makino is 2nd. There was 1/10 of a second between them at the end. Rasmus Markkanen was 3rd for MPT. Anthony Abbas 4th for Sodi Kart. Andres Batman 5th for Strawberry. Michael Christensen 6th for Kartschmi, and Kevin Ludi and Martin Pearce, Jan Vanchek and Standard Al Rahawi then completing the top 10. Maxi Fleischmann 11th, Morten Nom 12th, Enrique Baptista was 13th, Ken Alleman 14th, Tom Pitlick 15th, Tamsin Germain, I think probably a very happy 16th, Reve Luza coming home in 17th place. And then in 18th place, 3rd driver home in the Masters class was Jesus Perez Santander, so he makes the podium. Thomas Peart was 19th, Placido Adrizani 20th. Oriol Damo Caballero dropped down the order after a good weekend. It all went wrong for him in the final, so he finished 21st in the end, 3 laps down. Florent Lambert was 5 laps down, didn't finish the race. Enris Gruber 23rd, Ilja Loskins 24th. Juan Turan, we know, didn't start the race. So that wraps up proceedings in terms of the race action. I'm going to head down in a moment or two to interview our last of our race winners, Sean Slavin. We will have more for you, though, on air in a little while, because in about 40 minutes' time, as close to 3 o'clock as we can, we will have the podium presentations for today. And on the podium presentations, don't forget, we'll have the top 3 from each class. We will also then have the podium draw, the random draw. Everybody's name gets put into a hat, and 1 junior, 1 senior, 1 DD2 driver and 1 DD2 Masters driver will have their name pulled out of the hat. It's completely random. It doesn't matter where you finished. If your name comes out of the hat, you will get a free season of entries worth over 5,000 euros into next season's Euro Challenge. But you have to be there. If you are not there, and this is the driver that has to be there, not just the mechanic or a friend, the driver has to be there. And if the driver is not at the podium and your name gets called out of the hat, you won't win it. So make sure you're at the podium. You're not going to go anywhere fast anyway, so you might as well be at the podium in about 40 minutes' time at 1500 hours. So that wraps up the action. Sean Slavin, our last race winner, he'll be absolutely chuffed with that. Tadasuke Makino 2nd, Rasmus Markkanen in 3rd place. And our Masters winner, of course, was Martin Pearce in a very